So, picture this, you have two brothers, right? They grew up next door to each other. They share history, they share a family tree so tangled it looks like a bowl of spaghetti, and they argue constantly about who makes the best jollof rice. That's Ghana and Nigeria. These two West African giants are more than just neighbors, they are family, separated by Togo and Benin, but connected by a bond forged in colonial history, shared culture, and a rivalry that's as fierce as it is friendly. For decades, their people have flowed back and forth across these borders like a river, seeking opportunity, family, and sometimes, just a different pace of life. Nigerians have found homes and built businesses in Accra, while Ghanaians have sought fortunes in the bustling streets of Lagos. You can walk into a market in Kumasi and hear a Nigerian accent haggling over prices, and you can find a Ghanaian chop bar in Abuja serving up banku and tilapia. This cross-pollination has enriched both nations, creating a unique blend of cultures that is distinctly West African. It's a beautiful thing, really. But like any family gathering, things can get a little tense when too many people are in the house and the resources start to feel scarce. However, as we stand here in August of 2025, a dark cloud is gathering over this historic relationship. Whispers have turned into shouts, and headlines are now dominated by a worrying trend, the potential mass expulsion of Nigerians from Ghana. It sounds shocking, almost unbelievable, like finding out your favorite uncle is planning to kick your dad out of the family reunion. This isn't just a political headline, it's a deeply personal issue that threatens to tear at the very fabric of West African brotherhood. To understand what's happening in 2025, you have to rewind the clock, way back. The movement of people between what we now call Ghana and Nigeria is older than the countries themselves. These borders were drawn by Europeans with rulers, not by the people who lived there. In the 1970s, Nigeria was booming thanks to oil. People from all over West Africa, especially Ghana, which was facing economic hardship, flocked to Nigeria for jobs. But then, in 1983, when Nigeria's economy soured, the government issued an expulsion order for undocumented migrants. The phrase, "Ghana must go," became a chilling headline. Now fast forward, the tables turned. Ghana's economy stabilized and began to grow, becoming a beacon of stability and opportunity in the region. At the same time, Nigeria faced its own set of challenges, from economic instability to security issues. Naturally, the flow of migration reversed. Nigerians, known for their entrepreneurial spirit, began moving to Ghana in large numbers, setting up businesses, enrolling in universities, and building new lives. For a while, this new wave was seen as a sign of healthy regional integration, a testament to the resilience of both nations. The past was the past, right? Well, not exactly. Let's talk about money, because at the end of the day, a lot of this comes down to bread and butter. The Ghanaian economy, once the star pupil of West Africa, has been facing some serious headwinds. The cost of living has shot up, the national currency has been struggling, and youth unemployment is a major concern. When people are struggling to make ends meet, they start looking for someone to blame. From the perspective of some Ghanaians, particularly small business owners and traders, the influx of Nigerian entrepreneurs feels like an invasion. There have been ongoing tensions in retail trade, with Ghanaian trade associations demanding the closure of Nigerian-owned shops. Ghana has a law, the GIPC Act, which reserves certain retail activities for Ghanaian citizens. However, enforcing this law has been tricky and has led to clashes. Beyond the markets and the money, there's the cultural dimension. On the surface, it's all friendly banter and rivalry. Who has the better music, Afrobeats or highlife, and of course the eternal question, who makes the best jollof rice? But underneath the jokes, there can be real friction. Some Ghanaians perceive Nigerians as being loud, overly aggressive, and sometimes arrogant. You might hear complaints about noisy neighbors, lavish parties that go on all night. On the flip side, Nigerians in Ghana often feel misunderstood and unfairly judged. They see their confidence as just that, confidence, not arrogance. Many feel that they are held to a different standard than other foreigners. Now we get to the really sensitive stuff, crime and security. In recent years, Ghana has seen a rise in certain types of crime like kidnapping and cyber fraud, which were previously less common. Whenever a high-profile crime occurs and a Nigerian national is implicated, it dominates the headlines and social media. The narrative quickly becomes, Nigerians are bringing crime to Ghana. It doesn't matter if the vast majority of Nigerians are law-abiding residents. The actions of a few are used to condemn the many. From the Ghanaian perspective, the fear is genuine. Ghana has long prided itself on being a peaceful and safe country. Political figures then seize on this fear, calling for stricter immigration controls. They frame it as a matter of national security, a fight to protect the safety and soul of Ghana from foreign criminal elements. Let's start with Kofi, a hypothetical Ghanaian taxi driver in Accra. Every day, Kofi struggles with rising fuel prices and the increasing cost of food for his family. For Kofi, the dots connect easily. His struggles are linked to the presence of these newcomers. Now let's meet Kioma, a hypothetical Nigerian who runs a successful software development startup in Accra. She employs 5 Ghanaians, she pays her taxes, she loves Ghana's relative stability and considers it her second home. But recently, she's been facing more hostility. Her landlord has raised her rent exorbitantly. She gets stopped by the police more often. She sees the calls for expulsion as a betrayal, a slap in the face after years of contribution. So, what happens if this rhetoric turns into reality? The consequences would be devastating. It would trigger a humanitarian crisis first and foremost. Imagine hundreds of thousands of people suddenly uprooted, forced to abandon their homes, businesses, and schools. For Ghana, the immediate effect would be a sudden vacuum. Nigerian-owned businesses would close overnight, leading to job losses for the Ghanaians they employ. The economy would lose the consumer spending and investment that the Nigerian community provides. Then there's the diplomatic poison. An act like this would shatter the relationship between Ghana and Nigeria for a generation, if not longer. It would kill the spirit of ECOWAS and its goals of regional integration. So how do we pull back from the brink? It's not too late, but it requires courage and real leadership. Political leaders in both Ghana and Nigeria need to tone down the inflammatory rhetoric and address root causes. Grassroots organizations can foster dialogue between local Ghanaian communities and Nigerian residents, creating spaces where people can voice concerns, dispel stereotypes, and find common ground. Understanding is the best antidote to fear. They can establish joint task forces to tackle cross-border crime, sharing intelligence and working together to prosecute criminals, proving that crime is the enemy, not a nationality. At the end of the day, the story of Ghana and Nigeria is the story of a family. And like any family, they have their problems. They argue, they compete, and sometimes they say things they later regret. But their destinies are linked. The success of Ghana is good for Nigeria, and the success of Nigeria is good for Ghana. A strong West Africa needs both of its giants to be strong and to be working together. The choice in 2025 is a stark one. Will Ghana and Nigeria allow fear and suspicion to write the next chapter of their history, repeating the painful mistakes of the past? Or will they choose a different path? A path of dialogue, understanding, and collaboration. A path where they work together to solve their shared problems and build a more prosperous future for all their children. Let's hope they choose brotherhood over bitterness, and that the only Ghana must go we hear in the future is from a Nigerian cheering on the Black Stars in a friendly football match. This moment is a test of the strength of their relationship, a test of their wisdom as nations, and a test of their shared humanity. Because together, these two great nations are not just neighbors, they are and always will be brothers.